So I've had some time to play with the Infinix Note 10 Pro, and in this video I'm going to show you all you need to know about this interesting piece of tech coming to Nigeria this June from Infinix. Infinix was said to have put out two kinds of the Infinix Note 10 Pro, the Note 10 Pro of course, and Note 10 Pro NFC. Both of them are the same phones of course, except one has NFC. Then we get the Infinix Note 10 that actually has so many physical design similarities as the Note 10 Pro, except for the 90Hz display that is missing on the Note 10, the lesser processor, RAM, storage, alongside some minor changes. However, in this video, we'll be focusing on the Infinix Note 10 Pro. What it has to offer, my pros and cons, everything you should know before you buy it. Is it better than the predecessor? If you're new to the channel, welcome. If you're returning, welcome back. Do hit that like button, guys, so more people can see the analysis we're about to share in this video. And as we always say, without further ado, let's get to the video. Right on the box of the Infinix Note 10 Pro, we see some of the highlights already. The 90Hz display, 6.95-inch Full HD Plus display. This is the same display size on the Infinix Note 8 and the Note 10, but this Note 10 Pro is better than the rest of them, and we'll see why in a bit. Up top on the box, we also see the RAM and storage options that we've got here. As you can see, mine is 8 gigs of RAM and 128 gigs of storage. The other part of the box has the branding and the rest of the specifications on the back of the box as well. Opening the box of the Infinix Note 10 Pro, we get the smartphone itself, of course, with all of the highlights up top. We'll put it to the side for now. We of course get the customer service card here as well. There's again a smaller box with the SIM ejector tool at the back. Opening that up, we've got a couple of things inside: screen protector, X-Pack note, and that invite card that looks like a $1 bill. I'm a fan of the packaging. We get the silicone case, which of course works, and just like one of Transion's other flagships, it does fit. But the power button area seems to have some alignment issues. If I'm using the power button as my fingerprint reader, I shouldn't be facing that problem. But hey, this is just me nitpicking on that tiny feel. As far as the accessories, we get alignment this time. The USB-C cable is appropriately thick, and the headphones, which come standard with their devices as well, is not the in-ear kind on ear. Lastly, we get the big charger, the 33-watt charger, and trust me, I did my charging test on this one, and I'll share it with you guys just later in this video. Also, if you feel like you're in a hurry and you want to skip ahead to that part, there will be timestamps in the description below, that like button, so you can skip to the important parts for you anyway. All right. The charger has orange accents and it matches the charging cable, which is the alignments that I was talking about. The highlights Infinix chose on here are: one, the processor, the G95, the 64 megapixel camera, 33-watt charger plus that huge 5000 mAh battery, and 128 gigs of storage plus 8 gigs of RAM. I tried OTG, I plugged my iPhone to the Infinix Note 10 Pro. I'll either get to access my files from the iPhone on the Infinix, or I'll use my Infinix phone to charge my iPhone. Well, I mostly used it to charge the iPhone, so this huge 5000 mAh phone is not only good enough for you, it also can work as a power bank for your other phone or your friend's phone if you have the right cable. If at first it doesn't work, you have to turn the OTG on manually in the settings. This one came up for me. Taking the wrap off the Infinix Note 10 Pro's display and the wrap off the back as well, we see the interesting choice of color on here. On the back here, we've got 3 colors to pick from in the Note 10 Pro. There's the 7-degree purple, which is the one we have here. I realize they call it the 7-degree purple because if you tilt it at, I think, around 7 degrees, you see the purple color. We have the Nordic Secret, which is a rainbow style mix of colors, and 95 degrees black. Interestingly, the top of the phone is blank. There's no secondary microphone, which leads me to believe it's around the speaker area. I might be wrong, but I think it's there, and we'll get to that in a moment anyway. On the right side, we've got the power button, which also serves as the fingerprint reader, and above it are the volume rockers. The left side houses the SIM and micro SD card slot for expandable storage up to 2 terabytes. Guys, you have your headphone jack at the bottom, the microphone, the USB-C port, and the speaker grill. It's a dual speaker phone. It's loud. Loud sounds come from the bottom and the top. So you're kind of covered there. As far as the body design, it's a polycarbonate material, of course, to help with durability, but still prevalent among many mid-range phones. It's got a 2-tone stripe and chrome look, and an interesting, nice step camera bump, and the Infinix branding at the bottom. Now when it comes to the display of the Infinix Note 10 Pro, the first thing you should know is that it's the same size physically as the Infinix Note 8, 6.95 inches, and the same size as the regular Note 10, 6.95 inches. So what's the difference? Well, unlike the Note 8, you have a 1080p display on the Note 10 and the Note 10 Pro. The Note 10 series devices have higher 387 pixel per inch in display density, which translates to better screen resolution overall compared to the 258 on the Note 8. Although it's not OLED or anything fancy, you've got an IPS panel on here. But what makes this display stand out is the 90Hz feature that we get on the Note 10 Pro, although not on the Note 10. Infinix claims 180Hz touch sample rate alongside that 90Hz display, which if promoted together. It's important to note that the Infinix Note 10 Pro does not have a 180Hz refresh rate display. However, the touch sampling rate simply means that the screen is that much responsive. It's a hardware improvement as well, just like the screen refresh rate. I may be wrong, but I think it's due to the sampling rate that we have an added ultra touch in the display settings to control the swipe speed and the motion speed. The setting is specifically said to be made for sensitivity essentially. Still on the display, watching videos on the Infinix Note 10 Pro's 1080p display is top level for most Infinix devices out there, both in the display size and the 1080p quality. Thankfully, we've been uploading videos on this channel in 4K this year. YouTube recently started supporting 4K for most mobile phones, even with a 720p display, and you would definitely notice the quality improvement on the streaming side of the Infinix Note 10 Pro. Unfortunately, your data will also notice these improvements as well, so stream 4K responsibly. Also, please give this video a like if you're finding it useful so far, and consider subscribing to the channel and hitting the bell icon beside so you'll be getting more detailed reviews like this one. Okay, so I'd say the scrolling and overall usage was generally, display wise was generally good from day-to-day uses. It seemed clear to me. There's less intrusion from the hole punch cutout. You have more screen real estate, 84.8% screen to body ratio to be exact. It's better, or it has a slightly shorter bezel at the bottom too, so that's something to consider. Infinix is targeting this device with the speed tagline, and apart from the 180Hz touch sensing rate, which might not be as groundbreaking as it's obvious to your eyes or the overall experience, the processor is something to look at. We get MediaTek's Helio G95. Even on the MediaTek's page, it's dubbed, alongside premium 4G gaming smartphones in the H2 or the supporting hero text. I'm happy that Infinix kind of maximized this processor, most of the features that this processor has to offer, although not all the features. The MediaTek's Helio G95 has a maximum camera support for 64 megapixels on the back. The Infinix Note 10 Pro has it. It has a maximum support for 4K 30 FPS. The Infinix Note 10 Pro has it. The processor has a maximum support for 10 gigs of RAM. Infinix said, okay, we'll stop at 8 gigs of RAM and give you up to 128 gigs of storage or 256 gigs of UFS 2.2 storage. The processor's maximum display resolution for the G95 is 2520 by 1080p. The Note 10 Pro is 2460 by 1080p. So yes, you get one of the best Helio G95 devices on the market, paired with Android 11 and of course the XOS 7.6 as well, which of course you should expect up to standard mid-ranger. However, Fisayo, it can't all be awesome, right? Yes, we've got bloatware. We're plagued with bloatware and sort of unwanted software that comes pre-installed and clogged in this phone, and your control panel or your notification center will be stashed. So if you don't want them, you can remove them, but you'll be getting random and unwanted notifications at intervals, and they can actually be offensive at some point. One of the new features though that this has is the sticky view feature. It's more of a software advancement where you can double tap the power button to minimize the screen. It will turn into a mini screen. You can even control that mini screen. You can either expand it, by dragging down, or minimizing it completely by taking it to the edge of your phone. Also, with regards to the sound quality, the device is loud. It's quite loud, and the audio is clear enough. though it's a little too thin and thinner than I'd like, and I wish there was more bass to it. I used the headphones that came with this device to listen to music a lot, and fun fact, I used it to edit parts of this video. So yes, it was a huge deviation from what I normally would use. The bass wasn't there and the audio wasn't super crisp. It was clear enough, and I found it to be just clear. So the total time I wore the headphones were for like a stretch of like maybe 12 hours. As I mentioned earlier, the G95 is a gamer's processor. I found games to be smooth, both display wise and speed wise. I tried to maximize the frame rate on Call of Duty, but the graphics was just high, and then when you try to maximize the graphics, you end up not maximizing the frame rate, so it's an opportunity cost. As usual, my regular Call of Duty sessions went smoothly on here. With regards to the battery life though, I did a 30-minute gaming session connected to the internet. My battery went from like 93% to 84%, so that's a 9% loss. Infinix is claiming 5 minutes of charge will give you 2 hours of gaming. However, that's not the case for heavy games like Call of Duty, which would require at least 30 minutes of charge for a 2-hour game session. So according to my not so technical or controlled research or analysis, at least that's what you get. However, light games like Alto's Odyssey would get you more battery life. It would get you more bang for your buck, essentially. Not like battery hoggers like the Call of Duty games. The only times I did, see what I say, see what I mean. I just got a notification now. The only times I did experience some lag was because of my internet, and the second time the app I was using just crashed, but that was just once. Okay, so Infinix is giving us 5000 mAh battery and a whopping 33-watt fast charger. I'll say my day-to-day use was pretty fair with the device. It worked fine when I used it for my browsing tasks, and it didn't work so well when I used it as my power bank. It drained a lot, the battery just went fast. My charging speed with the charger that comes with the box went something like this: from 0% to 47% in 30 minutes. In an hour, I already got to 85%. So yeah, Infinix Note 10 Pro, 0 to 85% in 1 hour, 0 to 47% in 30 minutes, which is kind of a good thing, I think. Charging started to slow down at that 85%, like other lithium-ion batteries. It took another 35 minutes to get to 100%. So if you want to see the 10 minutes interval charging speed breakdown, please comment below. I'll make a tweet and I'll link it in the description or pinned comment or something. So I'll display my handle, my Twitter handle right here, just in case. When it comes to the fingerprint reader's speed, it's in no doubt fast, neither is it slow. It works really well when it does, and just like I mentioned earlier in the video, it's right on the power button, which anyone who uses their phone would definitely tap on it multiple times, and it just works. Face unlock also works and is considerably fast as well. So with the Note 10 Pro, which is what we're focusing on in this video, we've got a single 16 megapixel front-facing camera, and for low light shots we've also got a front-facing flash to follow. This is unlike the Infinix Note 8, which has a dual front-facing camera setup and a secondary camera for depth. But this doesn't mean the Note 10 Pro doesn't deliver in depth, as we'll soon see. On the back side of the camera, the back side of things, we've got all the bells and whistles for this phone's camera situation. We've mostly got a similar camera situation as we did on the Infinix Note 8, the Note 8 and the Note 10 Pro. So let's break it down. The Note 10 Pro has a 64 megapixel wide main camera, same as the Note 8. It has an 8 megapixel ultra wide camera, which the Note 8 doesn't have, which is an advantage here. The rest of the quad camera setup is similar, 2 megapixels on each one, one depth and one monochrome. A main differentiator that the Note 10 Pro has from the rest of the pack is the 4K shooting. The Note 10 Pro can shoot 4K, the Note 10 and the Note 8 will max out at 1440p. Now let's look at the shots. For the most part, regular selfies were sharp, but not always, especially because I was indoors or I was with little light. In comparison with portrait mode, we see that they do thrive, and portrait mode does blur the background quite well, but it overcompensates sometimes. Going outdoor to take photos of objects and landscapes, I noticed that the color representation of a regular shot and the 64 megapixel shot were not too different. However, the difference comes in form of videos. The 1080p video is fair and clear. However, when you compare it to the 4K, which, you know, that of the 4K counterpart, 4K is just better in color. This is something we've come to expect from a lot of mid-range devices, something I've tested on the channel as well. One thing to note is that both the 16 megapixel, the front-facing 16 megapixel camera and the back 64 megapixel capable sensor can shoot 4K. However, not in all modes though, as you can see right now. You see, both the front and the back camera have electronic image stabilization with a crop and an asterisk, and they both have portrait bokeh mode. You see, those modes will only work in 1080p and not 4K. Once you go 4K, it's 4K 30 and that's locked. I tried portrait bokeh mode on the front-facing camera. It looked a little too blown out with difficult but somewhat unusable blurs around my head and the edges of my hands and my portrait. It's important to note that unlike higher-end phones or other brands where you can seamlessly zoom from one lens to the other lens, you can only zoom within one lens that same camera you've selected, or use the 2 megapixel cameras as pairs with the main camera. Now, what do I mean? In the ultra-wide camera department, you can only zoom from the lowest 0.6x up to 0.9x, while on the main lens, you can go from 1x all the way to 10x. You can also see this in the shots that you'll be taking as well. This is a wide angle shot that only ends at 0.9x, and this is a normal shot that starts as 1x and goes all the way to 10x in 1080p. Same thing for the 4K version. 10x is the max. You definitely notice more sharpness and color for 4K all the time. Moving on to the night mode and starting with the selfies, of course, this camera can't see in the dark. I've even tried night mode. It wasn't even passable. The only mode that works best for the front is the front-facing flash at night. Thankfully, this has a front-facing flash. Night mode, however, shines on the back camera. Here's where you get that brighter and sharper image with that night mode compared to a normal mode. Now, the Infinix Note 10 Pro has some little things that makes it stand out. That 90Hz display, the 180Hz touch sampling rate. However, the bloatware, the fact that this variant is a huge fingerprint magnet, and you know, the haptic feedback that's not too satisfying. Those are things that would probably make me not consider it, and I might just be nitpicking, especially if I consider other devices in the price range. It's got a lot of competition from the likes of Samsung, Xiaomi, and even some older Infinix devices like the 08, which I've reviewed in detail on this channel, and you can watch with the link in the description below. And of course, we can't but mention the Infinix Note 8 as well. However, I'd love to know your thoughts about this device, and if you of course have any questions for me, please drop them in the comment section below. What are your thoughts on the Infinix Note 10 Pro? Is there anything I missed? Just ask me, let me know. It's priced at 115,000 for this, my 8 gigs of RAM and 128 gigs model. Is definitely worth looking at. The Note 10 with 128 gigs of storage and 6 gigs of RAM is 91,600, and the 4 gigs of RAM version is 83,000. And of course, you can divide it by 495 or 500 to get the dollar rate, because $1 is 500 naira now. Wow. That's pretty much it, guys. Thank you so much for watching this video. Do hit that like button if you found this video useful, and consider subscribing, hitting that subscribe button and the bell icon beside it so you'll be the first to know when I post a new video. Thank you. See you in the next one.